Hey everybody, welcome to my stream here on Lee Chess. Getting started a couple minutes late, lost track of the time there. It's 4 minutes after 10. I noticed that Thibault had posted a off-topic discussion about net neutrality, and I think that that's worthy topic. Anyway, I was just reading and I got I got this disconnected from time. So anyway, we're gonna be playing 5+3 through 7+3 blitz and rabbit chess here. Look at all those rabbits. 1, 2, 3, 4. Troll in a Roll has challenged me to chess 960. Troll in a Roll, you always do this on Wednesdays for some reason. The point is it's supposed to be unusual openings, but there are no openings in chess 960. Anyway, seeing as you're still a subscriber, I'll accept your challenge anyway, but I'm not going to play any more chess 960s today. This will be the only one, making an exception for Troll on a Roll. Anyway, nobody's here yet. Today's Weird Wednesday, unusual openings. Playing chess 960 is going to make me forget that as well. I usually play like 1 or 2 games at the beginning of the stream where I don't really remember that we're playing chess 960. I mean, unusual openings. But anyways, here we are. So, weird thing about Lee chess, which I mentioned the other day, is like we have like classical, rapid, and blitz and normal chess, but the variants like chess 960, all time controls are the same rating, which is kind of weird. But you can't have like 100 different ratings, I guess. So there's like blitz chess 960 and rapid chess 960. Hello, troll man. E4, E5. Troll man. So the queen looks a little weird here. What am I going to do with my queen? Hello, troll man. Good morning, everybody. I got distracted reading some forum posts and I was like, oh, it's 10:04. I guess I should have started. Soltiga, what's up? You know what? I'm really sorry that when you block someone on Lee Chess, it doesn't make their like forum posts disappear. There is this really annoying guy. I'm obviously not going to name names, but he is kind of one of these like forum troll who has to like make stupid comments on everybody's posts, and I tried to block him, but you still have to read what they post in the forum. It's so annoying, you know. I wish when you block someone it would just like make everything that they say on Lee Chess just disappear, but we are not fortunate enough. I'll have to suggest that to Thibault, but I don't think he's going to go for it. If I block someone, I just don't want to even know they exist, you know. Anyway, Soltiga, what's up? Good morning, guys. I got started a couple minutes late. I'm not a big forum poster, but I was reading something and I didn't notice the time. So we started with chess 960. It's not really the theme for today, Weird Wednesday, but I'm a humoring troll. Anyway, it's kind of a warm-up game for me. This is the problem with chess 960. I was about to play bishop a2. Then I realized I don't have a rook on a1. That's the problem with just waking up and chess 960. So we're going to have to come up with a creative way to develop our bishop on a2 in this game. Maybe I'll just fianchetto my queen. This weakens my king side, though. I doubt this is a good move for me, but I do need to get the queen out. The other option was f3, which just weakens this diagonal. So honestly, I don't really like either. f3 walking right into bishop a7 doesn't appeal to me, but I don't really like this, you know, possibility as well. That my white squares are weak, but I thought that queen g2 at least like put some pressure on the center here. so it's not so bad. My upgrade to Office 2016 is ready. Annie Bomba, wow. Thank you, man. Cheer 100. Awesome, dude. Thank you for the cheer. Annie Bomba. Turbo. Good luck with the games today. Thank you. Yesterday we had our viewer tournament, and I had some really bad game against Soltigo where I hung mate, but I won't keep harping on it. Anyway, my point was to say that you're saying good luck with the games today, and I really strive to play, you know, quality chess on the stream, and the reason I mention it now is because I went over my games from yesterday in the viewer tournament. We played 7+2 and 2-hour 7+2 tournament here. Every Tuesday we have a viewer tournament at 7 p.m. And actually a couple of the games I played really, really well. It looks like I had like 10 or 12 cent-upon loss with 0 inaccuracies in a couple of the games. So I'm really psyched about that. I mean, what I'm trying to do is to play really high quality games and just get better as a player and help you guys get better as well. But I mean, I have some selfish motivations too. I want this stream to help me to improve as a player. And the games, you know, to play a couple of games in 7+2 where we had a very, very low cent-upon loss, almost perfect, and not super short games like 40 move games where my cent-upon loss was very low with no inaccuracies. I'm really psyched when we can play some games like that. Arsenal fan, what's up? I don't remember off the top of my head which games they were, but definitely some good quality. Oh, this is kind of awkward. I mean, he's got this bishop on this diagonal, this bishop on this diagonal, and then the rook can launch down here. So I have to be really careful about my king's side. I was having a discussion yesterday in the stream about perception. And I think perception influences our style. So I'm a little bit, you know, defensive and prophylactic minded more than most players, I think. I can be very aggressive at times, but kind of like safety first approach. And I mean, that was reflected in my poker style too. Basically very conservative, fairly conservative. But as I said to, I think, Rich yesterday, we're talking about one game. What's up, Arsenal fan? You know, I think that you have to let the position kind of control the game a little bit. The game has a life of its own. You've got to respect that. You can't force things constantly. Some people try to force tactics constantly in every kind of position. They try to play for mate in every kind of position. I think that's a big mistake. All right, now we're going with F4. We got a fluid position. We got the king off the diagonal. We're opening up here on the F line. Actually, I could have played bishop A2, but he has a tactic there. He has a tactic, bishop A2, knight F4. Bishop takes G8, knight takes G2, and then he wins the bishop pair basically for nothing. Arsenal fan, this is getting to be a pattern. I thought Chess Club was on Wednesdays. The first rule of Chess Club is that nobody, what is it? I don't know, I didn't watch Fight Club for a long time. I only watched it once. What's the famous quote? Thing that happens at Fight Club stays in Fight Club? I don't know, but anyway, Richie, the Chess Club is Wednesday night, isn't it? Wednesday night, not Thursday night? Did Arsenal play yesterday? I didn't see any news on the BBC. Chess 960. Never talk about Fight Club. Alright. For Arsenal fan, it's like Chess Club is like that. Never talk about Chess Club. The second rule of Chess Club. You know, I've been known to drink during my tournament games, but not in recent history. Not a good idea. Not really good for you. All right. I was thinking about this funny story the other day, which I very rarely remember. But once I had a really bad hangover, Rich. I was playing in a tournament in Spain. Every night I would like go drinking until, I don't know, 4 in the morning. And the rounds were very convenient because they were pretty late, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know. So even if you had a hangover, it really wasn't a big deal, right? Except I had this one game with my friend Javier Moreno, and we had to play, I guess, and then like during the game he was like, "Willie C." That's what he called me. He was like, "What are you doing, man? Drinking during the game?" It was like, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you know. And I said, "What are you talking about? That's from yesterday." He was like, you smell of alcohol." And I said, "No, dude, that was from yesterday." The smell was so strong he thought I was drinking during our game. And it was 4 in the afternoon. And I think I had had a shower probably, but maybe not. Anyway, too much information. Arsenal fans, so we empathize with you with a hangover there after chess club. We call it drinking club. But drinking is not really optimal for your chess game. What are we doing with troll and a roll here? I want to get the knight off of d4, obviously. Thinking too long. We also have sometimes knight to d5. Knight to d5. Alright, whatever. I mean, c3 slightly weakens my structure, but we have this like lateral car going on with the b4. I mean, Javier thought I was drinking during the game. That's the point, you know, and I hadn't had any alcohol in like 12 hours. I couldn't understand what he was talking about. Just, there was so much in my pores, I guess, from 12 hours before. He was like, you can't drink, you shouldn't drink during the game, man. Troll is not doing too much here. I think he's trying to flag me. Back home at 7:30. Oh, we had our Christmas party. Fight Club Christmas party. Arsenal fan, you're lucky I'm not coming to the UK to play the Hastings Open. I would force you to come and then play and visit, get to meet you. It's not that far from you. I mean, guess. If you have free time, you should play at Hastings. But it's near the holidays and stuff, so it's a good tournament. Queen f7. Where are you going, man? Notice the lateral connection. We have communication with the bishop on a2, and the queen doesn't have a lot of squares here for black. Only thing, oh, that queen looks kind of hurting. Oh man, I still can't put him away though. Let's get our last piece in the game. White very well coordinated here. Just I don't see any death blow. He obviously has defense of f6, e5, etc. d4 is interesting, but it kind of opens up the e4 square, and he's going to go bishop b7 soon, so it's annoyingly difficult to open this position right now. I don't know, maybe I should just probe the weaknesses. I can trade off his bishop on a7, but I still don't have a way to break through without playing e4, which I'm a little bit nervous about playing e4. That's a nice diagonal. I'm good at drawing straight lines. Knight f5 though, this diagonal looks problematic. You try to go to London. Yeah, the London Chess Classic is the high end tournament, you know. Hastings is for poor people. the London Chess Classic is basically a snob chess tournament. I think Nefedov went to visit. He was telling me yesterday. It's a very, historical event running like 4 years now or something. Nefedov was like Nefedov. I think Troll in a Row was trying to set up some tactics there. Uh-oh. Look at that h6 square. Wow. Ooh, there's a massive wind here. Alright, knight h6. We could definitely sack a piece now. I still don't see any way to bust through. Like, pawn takes pawn doesn't even help me. Knight d5 looks kind of interesting. Knight. I can't afford to open up that long diagonal again. Knight. Was thinking about just going here. I hope my knight doesn't get stuck there. Of course, I could play knight to g4 and sort of vulture the way through here. Man, maybe you had a tactic there. Troll, maybe I had a tactic. Yeah, he usually does a good job. Have I heard of the guy who's, tried to set himself a goal to beat Magnus after 1 month of practice? This sounds like a guy who wants some attention, but I might be wrong. I definitely missed something here. How about that long diagonal, huh? Not really down with that. Troll has defended extremely well, but he hung a piece. Ooh, that was close. It's getting freezing in here. Alright. I have to close the hatch. Freaking freezing. Troll, man. Like, until the last move you were still hanging on there. Let's see. It's actually unusual opening stream today. I just want to see the near the end position. Oh, I'm actually winning with knight to d5. Wow. I didn't think rook takes f6 worked. I mean, I wanted to play knight takes f6, but you've got this in between move that bothered me with rook. Knight f4. I couldn't see myself clear of this, That's the problem. And I didn't see knight to g4. So I played okay, but according to the engine, we've got like 74% upon loss. That's good. Not. Okay, chess 960 is kind of like playing the King's Gambit every game. You're going to have a high cent upon loss. Yeah, this is an attention, of course. I mean, if the guy had like millions or something, I guess it would be cool. But, it sounds like some kind of live streamer or something who wants attention. What's the deal with him? Well, Magnus doesn't really jump at these kind of things, I would think. All right, Vasa, Nabil, and Flatwani. We don't have any challengers from the subscribers here. Gladys Troll, thank you for the compliment. Well, I mean, this is like when I was a college student, or after I graduated from college, I was, I don't know, pretty strong already, like 2400 USCF FIDE Master, and there was this bar near my house where I lived, and the bartender, would always like want to like challenge me, he thought he could beat me, like no matter what. It's like, I don't know, a lot of people just don't have a concept of how difficult it is to be like a chess master, and they think that if they practice for for a month, they can really, like, beat anybody. So just, he would keep losing these bets to me for a period of months. Total amateurs don't have a perception of the level of skill it takes to be good at chess. Anyway, I'm going to take the challengers who are subscribers first. Soltigo. We're basically playing... Soltigo, please accept my challenge in the order that it's in. You aborted, but okay, we don't have any other subscribers. So he aborted the challenge. I'm just going to play the random challengers here. Unusual openings today. So I want to play some experimental stuff that's not like garbage. Let's start with e4 and see what we can make out of this. Vesa 82 I've played, but not recently. The Caro-Kann is kind of tough to come up with something creative against. There's the Hillbilly attack, which I never play, so I don't have a clue. Maybe we can come up with something interesting a little bit later on. The Hillbilly attack being like bishop c4 on move 2. Jack Young was a friend of mine and a chess author. He wrote this thing called Bozo's Chess Emporium. An article all about like weird chess openings. But anyway, I was talking about bishop c4, the so-called Hillbilly attack. I don't know if Jack made up the name or if it was made up by someone else. But this existed since the late 80s, probably early 90s. The idea of playing bishop c4. I know that Simon Williams played a game and made some video or mention of it in the last year or two. But I don't really have too much theoretical knowledge of the so-called hillbilly attack. So I'm gonna play something weird with queen f3. My knight is out in Zimbabwe here. All right, knight takes e4. We had some mouse issues. The Wall Street Journal actually has... Wow, so this guy is seriously... He's got to have some serious context to get a challenge like that in the Wall Street Journal, or at least mentioned there. Sounds like a publicity stunt. Well, if the guy has enough money, it might work. Knight to f6. This reminds me of, well, actually, it could even transpose to the Dunst opening. I used to... I remember some blitz games I had with Asa Hoffman. He used to play knight c3 a lot. But I might have tried to play the Caro-Kann against the Dunst opening or something. Asa Hoffman is like this old legendary blitz player. When I was a kid, he was like stalking the halls of tournaments in New Jersey and New York, hustling blitz games, and he did that for like 40 years. He's probably still alive. E6, it's a solid move. This is kind of a typical formation White can play also against the Scandinavian. I get a lot of these, like e4, d5, knight to c3, or, you know, some such setup with queen f3. And Hillbilly attack's actually a typo. The opening is named after my great uncle William Hill. Arsenal fan Richie, where are you getting this from? Is this something that Simon Williams made up? Maybe I should just play d3 here. I don't know if I should play with the d4 structure or not. Just makes him easier to kind of break the center. Makes him easier. Makes it easier for him to break the center. He's not taking any risks at all. This is in my locker. Max Deutsch is a proclaimed speed learner. Even his name is like proclaimed attention hog. All right. Anyways. Yeah, as usual, people don't understand. But in your locker, I think that Arsenal fan is still drunk. All right, dude. What was actually in your locker? The hillbilly attack, quote, quote. I think he's making a joke. I take everything so literally. All right. Hillbilly is, you know, it's a very American reference. Arsenal fan. Appalachian Trail, you know. Sort of. What am I doing here anyway? The decadent residents of the Appalachian Trail playing chess. Let's just try to make something out of this nothing we've got here. Vesa is very fast. 7 plus 3. I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre opening. Bishop c4. I'm trying to think of, though, what other weird stuff can you play against the Caro-Kann? I mean, there's just not a whole lot to do. The French and Caro-Kann are so tough. I mean, black's making a non-confrontational move on move 1, you know? e4, c6. Okay, here, like, I'm moving my pawn 1 square. The hillbilly attack is a desperate attempt to... It's a desperate attempt to provoke black. But I've got to play Vesa here, who's, like, got to be the most solid player in the world. Oh, man. He's not taking too much rope. Right, I guess we're going to go for it. For lack of a better idea. This could obviously backfire. This is basically like an 18th, 19th century, maybe 19th century style approach for white. c6, c5, of course he's trying to play to open up his bishop. That's the downside, or a downside, of the fact that I didn't play d4, although anyway he would have had c5 breaking my center. In this case he's not disarming my pawn structure. If I had played d4 instead of d3, the position would be even more open now when he achieves c5. I was trying to keep it kind of closed. Basically a closed Sicilian type of approach. Oh, somebody actually won a game at the London Chess Classic? Wow. Nefedov said Karyakin wasn't very friendly yesterday. wonder why. He just wanted to get in the elevator. So our own subscriber Nefedov was at the London Chess Classic yesterday, and he was mentioning how Karyakin wasn't too friendly. Well, Karyakin started playing chess from a very young age, and that may not be healthy. Alright, let's see here. I'm a late starter. I mean, I basically started when I was like 12. Far from a child prodigy. I think that's healthy. You know, you develop other interests, not only chess and nothing but chess. So help you. All right. The problem is like taking on e7. It speeds up his development a little bit. I'm thinking like maybe queen f2 here. But we have to dodge the bullets with bishop c5, d4, knight e4, something like that. Probably that's okay for me. But there are definitely dangers with queen f2. I have like no threat. It's constantly under attack. It's much safer to do this. Or is it? It looks safer, but not 100% sure that that's really true. I was a little worried about knight to g4. Now I have this move. Now there's no time for knight to g4. We're just going to try to win a very simple position here. After the game, let's take a look at knight to g4 and see if I don't mate myself in one move, like I did yesterday against Soltigo. I'm sure I can find a way. I mean, one thing that a lot of people don't realize when you think about Karyakin, that unlike other players of his generation, kind of, he is a much earlier starter. Dude was like the record holder for like the early, youngest grandmaster or something. So that dude has been playing for quite a bit longer than some of his contemporaries, at a high level. I would think that Karyakin would be a player where it's a danger that he's just too one-dimensional, just chess and nothing but chess. His whole life is chess. I mean, that may not be optimal for your social development. I mean, Carlsen didn't start quite as early as that. He must have started Karyakin extremely young, training and focusing just on chess. He has, if you compare him to, like, I don't know, some of the other players around the same age as him, he has like a couple more years high level experience than them. Alright. Soltigo, you let me know when you're allowed to play. Last chance, you're only 2,600 now. I would think you'd be like 29 by now. Nabil Tlatuani and then Soltigo. We'll take these challenges in order. I don't have any challenges from subscribers. I guess Arsenal Fan is the only one here, along with Gladys Troll. So, Karyakin is a classic chess prodigy. I said I was going to take a look at that knight g4. But now we started a new game. Unusual openings. Don't make me play white. Make sure you guys challenge me to normal challenges, not like specifying the color that you play. All right. Arsenal fan recovering from a hangover. A3. Oh yeah, all right. Let's play knight f3. The Santa Sierra opening. He didn't play c5. We would go for a reversed. We could go for a reversed Budapest gambit in that case. Not really a big fan of b4 right now. But I do play that at times. We can play e3 and wait and see what black does. I think another interesting move there is maybe c4. This is kind of a strange move in a sense. Blocking his c-pawn from influencing the center. But I've played a3, so I guess it's kind of like, well, you can do whatever you want. Although I mean, in my mind, it makes b4 more appealing. Anyway, this is kind of a fast game, so I better not overanalyze. Well, I think e3, not really preparing b4, but just kind of like keeping my options open. Now there's a question. Definitely takes on a Sicilian, reverse Sicilian flavor after this capture. It actually could be it could be more of like a Queen's Gambit accepted with colors reversed if he plays e6. But playing e5 is more Sicilian-like. This is quite dangerous for black, I would think. Could do a fried liver type of thing here. Looks quite interesting. Knight g5, knight to d5, knight takes f7, and then queen f3 check, king e6. We've got e4 at the end of the line. It's not your natural fried liver. It's an unnatural fried liver. He also doesn't have the saving move knight b4, which is like, according to the computer, one of the best ideas for black in the fried liver. He'll have to go back to e7 to not lose a piece, which is extremely bad for black developmentally. So he's just basically playing with his king in the middle of the board in an open position with like approximately equal material. It has to be extremely bad. Bad news for black. We win back our material and he has no compensation for the bad king. Gladys Troll, you're not as pretty as me. Every morning here on the stream, I admire. I'm getting younger and younger. All right, c6 here. So, I mean, we can take when we want to take. I don't know if we should delay it. Is there any benefit in delaying? Maybe. I don't really know. But obviously it's extremely difficult for black to coordinate himself, and I can play d4 at any moment and just blast open the center. That's going to be impossible for black to deal with. Risky to play e5. If he had played e6, it would have been like a kind of weird, well, rather bad Queen's Gambit accepted. I guess the moral of the story is that he probably shouldn't take on c4. What to do after that? You know what? He could have played d takes c4, bishop takes c4, bishop g4. That's the way to play this position. It's exactly like a bishop g4, Queen's Gambit accepted. Get the bishop outside the pawn chain. All right. Well, this way we're just taking on d5, right? We've got to knock that pawn out and then castle. If he tries anything funny with knight f5, I would play bishop b2. Okay, now knight g6. I mean, d3 might be a good move. Let's see. Castles. d4. This opens up my bishop. I'm not going to be materialistic here. We'll just temporarily sack a pawn. I don't want to see knight h4 and queen g5 in my face. And this gives much more strength to like queen g3. Okay, he's lost his bearings. Soltigo would enjoy this position for black. No, but this was a clear case of bishop g4. I think this move I like the best. The engine is arguing for bishop f5. I mean, I guess that's also a good move. Last game, just a quick glance at the last game I played against Fesa. I thought the game prior to this, I thought he had a chance to play knight to g4. Yeah, apparently I should have played, this is the previous game, I should have played queen f2. This was much stronger than taking his bishop on e7. I thought maybe he had this move. But it probably doesn't do anything. I don't think I realized I had queen f4. Alright. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be taking challenges here. I'd like to thank you guys for subscribing. Please subscribe to the stream, support the stream, guys. Also, I would really appreciate if anybody makes donations via PayPal. I don't ask about it often, but you know, we don't make much money from doing the stream, and it wouldn't hurt to have a little support. So if you guys want to subscribe to the stream or make a donation supporting the stream via PayPal to my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training, thanks for that. Now back to the games. I'm gonna play Tlatuani next, then Soltigo, and we're gonna move on to any subscribers. Arsenal fan just jumped in there. He's a subscriber. Thank you, Mubat. So Tlatuani, I've played, let's see, 3 games. We lost the last one. I don't remember. Unusual opening theme today. Usually I'm getting white every game, so it's good to mix it up. E4, E5. Arsenal fan says I'll wait after the next two. Okay, well I'll play, you know, this guest and Soltigo, and then we'll play Arsenal fan and go on from there. Bishop C4, man. Oh no. Hard to play an unusual opening against Bishop C4. I wanted to play the Latvian. I think I might have played it here once. I don't know if you can do F5. F5, Bishop takes G8, Rook takes G8. Queen H5 check. King G6, Queen takes H7. It's kind of interesting. Actually, F5 D4 looks. We've got to play something unusual, so if you go back in history and look at some games from the 19th century, I mean, you'll definitely find some games in this type of line. I'm not certain this is white's best. It feels like white loses the initiative a little bit here. Now I'm not sure if I should take on E4 or I should just focus on developing my pieces now. But in any case, I've sacked a pawn. We've got some white squares and could develop a lead in development. It's a fast game. Obviously, my king is not super safe. Still, it feels like it's the central pawn. We should probably take it. It definitely disturbs his development. Now he's playing for development himself with D3. Okay, interesting. Tlatuani, I don't know much about this player. I know that we have 2 wins and a loss. He's got a lot of bullet games and some blitz. Do you want to take a second pawn on D3? Play D5. I'm not so much interested in keeping this pawn. I just want to develop my pieces as actively as possible. Oh, he moved too fast. I guess the rook there ends up being pretty well placed. Oh my god, I almost draw my queen. I'm not really used to this type of position either, obviously. My development is pretty weird. He's just like playing too much bullet chess or something. I recommend, you know, cutting out thousands of bullet games per day if you can't slow down at all. I am still allowed to castle, which is surprising. Anyway, we've got a lot of challenges for a Wednesday. That's kind of weird. Usually Fridays are the day when I get the most challenges. This won't take long. I'm curious to see the opening explorer. You're not going to find many games with this line that I played. But he's managed to keep almost all of his original time, which is quite an accomplishment. So we got those are real games though. Inkyov is a real player, and I'm in Rizut. These are not correspondence games. This is a real player. This Argondona Riviero apparently, like a live player. I never heard of him. Victor Bologan once faced F5. So interestingly, nobody played bishop takes G8. You got 1, 2, 3 GMs, and none of them played bishop takes G8. So I guess that's a good, a good idea that bishop takes G8 is not white's best move. After queen takes H7, rook G7, black is better already. Okay, the engine is now claiming equal after queen H8. Queen H3, I'm just slightly better already. Alright, interesting opening. Soltigo's up next. Now Buick says you hope to play better. Well, I mean, my goal is to help you guys and me to get better, to get better at English and spoken language. No, to get better at chess, and I'm making an effort here in my middle age to get back to my highest rating ever. Hopefully, we'll make that the goal. C4, C5. I forgot we're playing unusual openings. So let's make it weird with D5 here. Bring the queen out early. I know this is technically not correct. We have another idea. We could gambit a pawn with knight F6, I wonder. I don't think knight F6 is really sound. Knight F6, E4, E6. And then stuff like bishop E5 check. This is risky for black. This is definitely not really correct. Now I should probably return all the way back to D8, I would guess, in this position. D7, it may interfere with my development. I can't keep it. If I could keep it closed, maybe queen D7 would be okay to try to play B6. I think I need to just go back here. Juicebox Wizard, I have no reason to wake up at 3 a.m. on Wednesdays now. Okay, now arises the question if I should take or not. Soltigo played what? C4 on move 1. That's kind of rare, thinking about it now. You don't often play C4, do you, Soltigo? Maybe I should play E6 here. Just developing something. If I change on D4, actually the ending after queen takes D4, knight takes D4 is pretty awkward for black because the threat of knight to D5. This is an afterthought. I mean, I didn't mean to play C4 symmetrically. I forgot I was doing weird openings for a moment, and I had to recover. Um, whatever it is, it's like transposing to something like, you know what? It looks like it could be some sort of symmetrical Queen's Gambit. Something like a symmetrical Queen's Gambit. They say that when Rubinstein was like in the asylum, when he was in his last years, for quite a while actually, he would contemplate constantly the symmetrical Queen's Gambit. That was his favorite position to analyze. He was in an asylum for years after World War I, I guess, basically destroyed him psychologically. Akiba Rubinstein analyzed these C4, D4, D5, C4, C5 positions endlessly. That's the story anyway. Okay, Bishop G5. I don't think it really changes too much here. I'm just going to develop a piece. I guess I could play Bishop E7, but then I don't see how I'm getting my pawn back. Bishop takes C5, Queen takes, King takes. Can I try anything else? I mean, should I exchange rooks and bring his rook to the D file? I don't see how that benefits me. Probably best to do it this way. Bishop takes C5, take. Queenside castles check, knight E4. I don't know. I mean, Rubinstein was a big master of Tarrasch type of positions all of his life, and now I have Bishop E4 check, Soltigo, so I feel like you somehow... I mean, did you make a mistake? Well, it's not like I have a better move. I mean... you know, this is a guy who always played with the black pieces very incisively. When he was black, he would play D4, D5, knight F3, C5, immediately trying to turn like black into the white side of a Queen's Gambit. That's the most aggressive thing you can do. If you're black and you face D4, D5, knight F3, to play as if you're white with C5. Okay, now after King D1, I mean, black... You know, I don't really think that I have a disadvantage any longer after that move. I think I need the E7 square for my king. That's one problem in these Queen's Gambit accepted type of situations, in these endgames like this. Oftentimes this bishop and the king are sort of fighting over this square. On E7, we can't both have a comfy square to go to. My bishop will have to go to another square like A5 or D6 if it's attacked. But King D1 is a really strange move. I don't know. You know, I think I would play knight FD2 probably. He should have most likely castled prior to that. Now what? Just trying to get my pieces out. Unfortunately, I was thinking bishop a4 check is losing a piece, but I could play bishop a4 check, b3, bishop c6. Doesn't actually lose a piece. But it seems unnecessarily risky, doesn't it? I don't want to end up with a bad bishop. I don't know if this is the best move, but it was a move and I'm running out of time. Makes way for my knight to get out. I lost enough games against Soltigo this week. We lost yesterday. Blundered a mate against Soltigo. This will force him to make an unnatural move and block his own rook with the king. Or get mated. Looks like he's attempting to self-mate himself. Just continuously making provocative moves. I could have played bishop d5 check, but I wasn't sure what was going on after king a4. Probably he's getting mated somehow, but I didn't have time to calculate. Not mate in a few moves, like mate later on. Mate in many. Now we're just like positionally better. Very good endgame for black. Maybe not enough to win. Although, if I play pawn takes here, it looks really interesting and dynamic. But maybe not that big a deal. He was afraid to take on h6. I mean, it is possible his bishop would get trapped with e5 after that. Unfortunately, I can do nothing more than win a pawn simply here. His bishop h4 also protected his f2 pawn. Soltigo is an almost, yeah, I would say he's mostly like offense. But bishop h4, for example, a move that did contribute to his position defensively. That's a weird semi-mouse slip by me. I actually was having second thoughts about that move because of this move. All right. We both have very strangely placed bishops. We're just up a pawn. I mean, it should be winning for black, this type of ending. Wow. Clearly not king a4. He's got a check on c6, which is awkward. This is kind of a weird situation. But again, this bishop is really not very relevant. Is this self-mate? Self-mate. Okay, you could have played knight b3, and it's not that easy. For some reason I thought this. Knight d3 check? What's the big deal? Huh. Oh, I didn't see this. So after this move I have b5, and you don't have knight takes a5 because of rook takes a3 mate. That's cool. Anyway, Soltigo. Weird opening. I should be pretty much worse here. Engine was suggesting queen d6, actually. It looks like you should just castle queenside or play rook d1 check, and you're slightly better. Alright. Arsenal fan is subscriber and Juicebox Wizard. If you want to learn to play good positional chess, and you're a queen pawn player, or you want to play with the black pieces, Rubinstein is a great player to study. He also played e4 in some of his early games. Okay, gotta remember it's unusual openings today. I will face the ever tough Arsenal fan. What are we gonna do against Arsenal? We'll play e4 and then we'll decide. I think he plays the French though. I don't want to see the French. It's tough to come up with something unusual against the French. I just remembered at the last moment. Okay, so here we're going to forget about Rubinstein and go back to another former great Nimzovich. So Nimzovich played the advanced variation quite a bit, and he talks about it in his books, My System and Chess Praxis, and gives a lot of examples there. Normally white plays c3 in this position, and it leads to kind of strategic games, but Nimzovich did try some other stuff that's interesting here, like queen g4. I'm basically playing this as a kind of psycho pawn sacrifice. It's also possible to play knight f3 right away. Now, I don't know about bishop b5. I don't really want to give up my white squared bishop. But if I don't do that, I think I have to think here. Taking on c5 is possible. What happens if I take on c5? Truly Nimzovichian. We're on g7, so he can't take on c5 without gambiting his rook, basically. And so I've never played this position in my life. Playing on intuition, but it seems like white, whatever happens, I'm gonna sack a pawn. We will have open lines, and hopefully some serious attacking chances to compensate for our sacrificed pawn. No, Arsenal fan, it's cool. You know, you guys don't have to play. Only one side has to play for it to be an unusual opening. We don't have to both do unusual stuff. It's just fun to get outside the norm and play some creative positions. I think it's good for your chess not to just dogmatically play the same stuff every time you play chess. I've been getting too dogmatic with knight f3 with the white pieces too much lately. It's not good. So this position, I'm not looking at it like I want to hold on to my pawn. I wanted to get active play. I sacrificed a pawn. What can we do to generate active chances here? Knight c3. Rapport style. There's one variation that's bugging me here. Kind of important concept. Knight c3. I guess we're just gambiting a pawn. Well, actually, he could also play bishop takes c5 now, and on queen takes g7, queen f6. That was the simplest. So Arsenal faded. No, he failed to play like the most incisive move, but okay. It's not like you had to play takes on c5. He failed was what I was trying to say. Failed to play the most aggressive move. All right, that's fine. Now for a moment I'm thinking about castling queenside. I'm having all sorts of weird hallucinations here. I don't think we're going to find this position in the opening Explorer. It made me think again, which is 1c4. All right. You had one timeout this week, Troll, so don't push it. You didn't do anything wrong yet, but I'm just on my guard. Knight on g to f6, just developing a piece. Wait a minute now. All right. I guess I could play a3 at this point. Starts to become an option. He's threatening e5. I'm afraid he's threatening e5. We can't have that. I can't have him playing e5 and rolling those pawns. I think that somebody said roller in the stream. Okay, queen a5 is actually... I was worried about that a move ago. I guess it's still good. Now it might even be better than it was before. But maybe we should just find a good attacking plan here. Black's play is excellent. I don't really see anything I can do especially good here. Basically sacking a pawn. I think his play is perfect. He's only used 3 minutes for the whole game. Defending perfectly. I'm basically down a pawn without enough compensation. It's like a Sicilian more than a French. Arsenal seems stronger than his rating. We sacked a pawn, but we didn't get too many attacking chances. Now this is not what I anticipated. May well be good. Down to 30 seconds, he's so fast. I still don't think I have enough compensation. There's a little bit. He's made a lot of backwards moves, like knight back to d7, queen back to d8. But I still don't have anything great. Extremely good defense. Now I have to defend this position of pawn down. Yeah, that's the best move for black. Definitely instantly making the best moves. Damn. I can't really let him destroy my pawn structure. Force the queens off. And he's super fast too. Now we get some grip on the dark squares. Maybe we can claim some kind of compensation. Bad bishop versus good knight. He's 2 minutes ahead of me on time. He's only 1500 in bullet. I don't understand how Arsenal fan can be 1500 in bullet and play this fast and this good. How can you be 1500 in bullet, Arsenal fan? You'd be like dropping all your pieces, dude. I don't understand. You're just too good for that. He's literally at least 2000 in bullet the way he plays this game. All right, I don't know. I guess people just start panicking when they're playing actual... Maybe he puts too much pressure on himself when he's playing rated games or something, but the moves just keep coming here. It's like... very logical play by black. I had to stop bishop f3. He was starting to win on the move there. Maybe also taking my rook. Just no moment he pauses. I'm lucky that he exchanged there. There was like a momentary lapse. I'm not sure this is even good for me, but extremely impressive game by black. I mean, obviously he's probably winning if he plays a little bit slower, and instead he sacrificed the very best moves to try to win on time. So if he had concentrated more on trying to play the absolute best moves, I'm sure that he was winning, or at least clearly better. But now it's a draw. Symbolically, black is better here, but it's just a dead draw. I'm winning now? What? Oh my god, I'm winning. What am I talking about? I'm winning? He made the wrong move with his king. it's a draw here. He played the right move the first time. And then the second time he put his king in the wrong square. I'm actually winning in this position. Holy shit. I never imagined I could be winning after being worse the whole game, but I'm actually winning here. Surprisingly, that black has to be so careful. Whoa, he's actually lost in this position after king d5. That's insane. I do have some space on the king side. So this is a losing move. That's insane. King d5 is a losing move. That is insane, dude. You got your king on the 4th rank. Oh my god. Whoa. That's crazy. I never would have imagined it could be lost. You have to be extremely careful and play this. Wow, that's nuts. Just when I agreed to a draw, I had a winning position. I basically a6 is the best move for black there. I was threatening knight to b5. There was a cool variation though. I wasn't sure what was going on here. You know, this is like beyond my comprehension to analyze. I thought I was actually in trouble here because I didn't see queen h4 check. Apparently this is good for me. I can rescue my knight somehow. This is crazy. Anyways, really weird game. You were winning though at the end, Rich. This king and pawn endgame. Wait, are you winning? I couldn't possibly calculate this, but apparently f6. Over the board, I had no idea that this would make a difference in this position. Apparently that's a winning move. It's, you know, it's not possible to calculate that like in a situation where you have less than a minute. Yeah, this is what Soltigo was talking about. Jeez. I would have no way to figure that out in a fast game. All right, Juicebox Wizard is up next. Well, anyway, I would never play that variation with white in a tournament game. You know, only in blitz or maybe a rapid game. Too risky for white. I mean, it's just not safe to play queen g4. Maybe knight f3 instead of queen g4 is a safer gambit. But anyway, well done, Arsenal fan. Overall, really good game by you. We missed some things in the king and pawn endgame. Okay, now Juicebox Wizard is up. I'm going to play e4. Focusing on unusual openings here. Yeah, I mean, normally... Well, I mean, the thing about f6, I guess, you can argue is that the pawn is just backward. It's basically, like, useless. But then again, you could make the same case for my pawn on f4. So it's not really easy to, you know, to just logic your way to the solution how f6 changes the position. And games are just not that easy. He played knight c6. This is an opening I sometimes play. Nimzovich defense. So here will be doubly weird. I played this against John Curto, New England chess legend, and against Anthony Miles, England's first grandmaster. Bishop e5. When I played it back in the 90s, I mean, well, I played it against Curto and Miles probably around 2000. actually. I've talked about it on the stream a little bit, but I didn't know that there's actual games with bishop b5, not too many. Kurdo's move is knight f6. I think it's... Tony played e5 trying to transpose. We transposed to a Roy Lopez. But Miles has also played knight f6. I think this is black's best move. Against Kurdo, I think I exchanged on c6 if I remember correctly, but I wasn't really happy with my game, and it was a fairly quick draw. Wonder if you could sack a pawn with d4 here. I mean, black has tons of options. I still think that the knight f6 is black's best move. But it's not everybody's style. I mean, nobody, you know, it's funny, out of those players that I played, nobody tried knight to d4, which is also obviously a playable move. But I'm kind of hoping for something weird like knight to d4, because the knight will eventually get kicked back. Like knight e4 against the Trompowsky isn't as good as its reputation, I think. There was a big trend to play knight e4 against the Trompowsky for years and years, and I think in the end it's just not that good of a move. Just trendy because it feels like you're doing something active, you know, to like punish the other guy, but in reality I think the move has a lot of defects. Your knight gets kicked back later on. So now we're just playing a kind of strategic game, I think. Lots of pawns on the board, likely leading to a closed position, or mostly closed position. I don't see any real benefit in overextending myself here with e5, but you could do that if you wanted to. I'm just trying to play logical, solid chess. I'm having some doubts about my position. I think now after d5, maybe this move makes a lot more sense than it did before. But this looks like a strange deployment to me. You could play f3, but I don't really like it. My knight doesn't have anywhere to go after that. Honestly, Juicebox Wizard, I was really worried about maybe the bishop coming out to a6 in some positions. You could even do something radical like a5 and prepare like taking on e4 and bishop a6 in some lines. I might be forced to play like c4 in order to castle, which would be very weakening and kind of weird. Just generally what I was thinking there. It's obviously very similar to an exchange Roy Lopez, except he hasn't played e5. e5 is a problem. Well, I don't think that e5 is a problem for black, maybe. This move looks kind of time consuming, though it is a closed game, so I don't know. Also, he's jeopardizing his structure potentially. But e takes d, queen takes d5, knight c3, bishop takes f3, knight takes d5, bishop takes e2, knight takes c7 check. Huh. That would be weird. We could like take on d5, play knight c3, and then... But then again, maybe he takes with the knight. He could just take with the knight on d5 and suck it up and have a isolated pawns type of structure. Or he could just retreat his queen back to b7, something like that. Not so bad, actually. So anyway, I'm not going to give up my strong point, I think. He trades his white squared bishop. It's a practical decision. I mean, I think that you could also go back, but it's somewhat risky to let that bishop get kicked around. Black can play e6 here with a fairly solid game. I don't know what else to recommend. c4 doesn't look right. Black needs to get on with development here. Thanks for subscribing, guys. Arsenal fan. Juicebox Wizard. Trolling a roll. Yeah, I mean, e6 looks absolutely correct. And now I try to put pressure on his center if I can. Not so easy to do. I mean, he has another pawn to back it up with like c6 if he needs to. So it's even interesting to play Nimzo Indian style. I mean, basically this is a Nimzo Indian with colors reversed. Interesting to play here. I don't think bishop g5 does anything, and I've got problems with my b2 pawn. I was actually thinking like c4. That loses a pawn though. Maybe at some point I could play c4, try to blockade his isolated pawns. Actually, at this point, taking is starting to look interesting. Now it's really looking interesting. Because of the e-file. I think this was not a great square for the bishop. Because of A, like the pin on g5, but secondly, like the e-file. So now he had to jeopardize his pawn structure. Well, we don't have too much time. We've got a really solid outpost on c4. And we put the bishop on d2, rook to the e-file. White is definitely better. It's like a classic kind of Nimzo Indian. The static weakness on the queen side. Not going to be easy to get rid of that. I don't think it's decisive, but it's a lasting and unpleasant disadvantage for black. I didn't want to play b3. Wow. Alright. f5 is uncompromising, creating a weakness on the e-file, but also kind of like playing aggressively. The battle lines are drawn. Okay, so if he tries knight b6, I have bishop c3 here. Wow, Juicebox Wizard, man, I mean, he's 1400. Excellent game for his rating. I think he could have sacked an exchange there. It's pretty risky, but rook takes b2 deserves consideration. I think now I'm better. This was an imbalancing move. I mean, you could have maybe made life kind of unclear after that. I'm not sure if it's sound. I didn't have enough time to calculate all the consequences, but we definitely need to take a look at that. I think now, as long as I own the e5 square, I'm out of the woods, and I'm at least equal, probably have the better chances. What book is that? 100 endgames you must know. I don't know. Juicebox Wizard just blundered his e6 pawn. Actually, his whole position is pretty much a catastrophe after that. He's lucky he's not losing a piece. Well, you don't have to resign. You should play on with knight f6 here. In a blitz game, you know, maybe you resign in like a tournament game or something, but I don't think you should give up. I thought f5 was a really aggressive move. And this is what's going on here. Not sound. Yeah, I would have played the computer recommendation. Just take and play rook c1. It's probably not enough for black, I guess. This is still a problem. Alright, guys. Okay, troll and a roll. I'm probably not going to have time for a second game. We are going to play Save a Dog. Guys, please subscribe to the stream. Yeah, you were losing, but not resignable in the blitz game. Only -3 according to the engine. Save a Dog. It's unusual opening stream. Please subscribe. Please make donations to my PayPal here on Twitch, and check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Support the stream. We upload all the streams to the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe over on YouTube, guys. Save a Dog. What am I doing? All right, let's play the Dunst opening for something fun. Yeah, Juicebox, it's cool, man. I mean, you should resign and show respect to higher rated players. I was telling a story like yesterday or a couple days ago. On Sunday, our board 2 and my team, Varga Zoltan, who's like, he's 2450 GM. He used to be like 2600. He was playing this FM, who was rated about 2380, and the guy was black and he was worse, and he was like 100 points lower, and he offered a draw, and Varga was pretty upset about it. He was like, dude, that's just not good etiquette, you know. In the internet age, people don't know much about chess, you know, competition etiquette wise, but it's a fine line. I mean, you don't have to resign because you lost a pawn against a player who's higher rated, but you should resign when you're like down a piece or something. It all depends. It's complicated. Anyway, etiquette, chess etiquette lessons. Maybe I'll make some video. That's a boring topic, huh? Let's make some videos on chess etiquette. Put them on YouTube. You're just begging to get yourself trolled if you do that. But seriously, people need etiquette lessons. Okay, I don't know. I started off trying to play an unusual opening. Now, what can we do? I have an idea. He just played a very solid setup with d5 and g6. Let's play it like it's a black. Let's turn it into a black Mardemer. Obviously, I would normally take with a knight on e4. But in the spirit of interesting chess and unusual openings, I'm trying to think about here playing for a gambit style black Mardemer. It's complicated. I lost the pawn against Kamsky and resigned. It really depends on your opponent, you know. If I'm playing someone who lives to be up a pawn, who's 2700, you know, and willing to play 10 hours to grind you down with that extra pawn with like a 99.9% accuracy, I'm just going to resign when I lose a pawn, you know. But that's kind of a selfish motivation because I don't want to be tortured for 10 hours. But against certain players, you can just resign when you're down a pawn. Gata is definitely one of those. Carlsen, probably. Even the other GMs in the tournament were like stunned when they saw that I had resigned. So it's not, you know, not necessary to just resign automatically when you lose material against a strong player. But if it's a large amount of material, you definitely should do so. Okay, this is going to transpose to the main line black Mardemer, I think. I think this is probably black's best line in the black Mardemer. Knight f6. g6 and knight f6. I think it's the best setup for black in the black Mardemer, playing g6 and knight f6 first, obviously, usually, and then g6. Now here, I looked at some games a few weeks ago, believe it or not, in this position, and the experts seem to agree that h3 is the best move. Stopping bishop g4 and stopping black from trading that. If I don't do h3, you should play for exchanges here with bishop g4. So I'm trying to keep the pieces on the board so that I keep my attacking chances. I guess I'm supposed to castle first, I just realized. Because you don't have bishop g4 right away because the bishop takes f7 check. Anyway, it'll probably transpose after castle, castle. I don't know that black can do anything special other than castles here. The blessed setup. This is the blessed setup for black. It's still not that easy, but it's clearly like hands down the best way to play against the black Mardemer. No question. It's better than bishop g4. It's better than e6. There was a game one GM played with white. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was like Igor Milodinovich, who's a really creative player. Milodinovich was white in this line. And the only GM game I could find in this position. I think he might have actually won the game somehow, but it's not clear white has enough compensation for the pawn. I think that this move is a little bit passive. You probably need to play knight c6. The actual game, I think Milodinovic might have played a3. Does that seem right? I don't know. I don't remember now, but I think knight c6 is best. Knight c6 d5 is even possible. Alright, anyway, knight bd7. It's okay, but it's a little passive for black. Not putting like maximum pressure on white's center, I guess. Knight c6 is a little more interesting in that respect. But I certainly think it's okay. Knight d7 is probably okay. Alright, now what's up? Black's plan is obvious, to play knight b6. Also possibly to play c5. Knight b6 and knight d5. So maybe I should not mess around. I mean, I'm looking at maneuvers like this, but possibly it's better to just go ahead and play like bishop g5. Developing a piece. I don't know if I have enough compensation for a pawn. I personally would play knight to c6. Because you sometimes play like knight. There's some really crazy lines I found with knight c6, d5, knight a5, and such. You can undermine the center with c6 just in time, so your knight doesn't get trapped on a5. Relaxing and winning positions. It's a common pastime. Wow, c5 actually looks like a pretty good move. I'm thinking about king h1. But there may be a problem. See, d5, it doesn't work because of knight b6. I'm not thrilled about the situation. This is a problem for me, actually. I don't know what to do. I just don't think I have quite enough compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Nicely done. I mean, c5 is a good move. Casting doubt on bishop g5. Maybe I'm supposed to play like queen e1 instead. Makes me seriously wonder if it wasn't better to play queen e1 instead of bg5. I mean, it may be the case that I have some reasonable compensation here, but I just wouldn't want to play this in a serious game, and I wouldn't be too confident about my comp. Yes, I have a lot of development, but I am clearly down a pawn. Pretty active pieces, but what do they do? You know, like what concrete threat do I have? None. No threat. It's going to take me like 6 moves to generate like a serious threat. At least 4. I don't know. I thought queen b6 trading queens looks pretty solid. I think called for here. I mean, your move may not be bad, but that's a lot more concrete and easy for black. Now we might have some attacking chances, at least practically speaking. I mean, if you're up a pawn, trading queens into that ending looks like a pretty safe thing to do. Now it may be that we have a strong practical chance. For attack here. All of our pieces in play. We're zoning in on these points here on e7 and f7. These pieces are coordinated. So, although it's still not that easy. Bishop f5 early is another line against the black Mardemer. Looks like Save-A-Dog is just gonna like lose on time. But now we have very real threats. G4 is not on the agenda, though. Removal of the guard. That's what happens if you don't trade queens, possibly. Not to say that it's automatically going to happen, but see what the engine says. It likes h6. It doesn't care about trading queens. Is there something wrong with this move? Stockfish thinks that I'm equal here after queen b6. Wow. I mean, it's possible. I do have active pieces. But it's certainly the safest approach for black. Alright guys, I don't know, where did we leave book? Yeah, here's the Miladinovich game I was talking about. He played some guy I never heard of back in 2013. Black here played knight c6. It looks like clearly the best move. I would recommend this as a setup to play against the black Mardemer. Alright guys, half an hour left. Last Dance 2600. Haggard DK. I'm really good. And a new guy. Alright, Last Dance. The Mystery 2600. Underrated. Looks like he should be 29. I don't know if he's still here. Yeah, luckily I still had enough compensation if I face a trade of queens with queen b6 there. I wasn't sure. I don't really play the black Mardemer seriously. So Last Dance doesn't seem to be here. He was waiting a long time. He used to play in my viewer tournaments and win almost every single game. Mostly just bullet. Alright, the dude isn't here. Let's play Haggard DK. I'm really good, and these 3 games will probably close out the stream today. I don't have time for more. Haggard DK we have played before. The other challengers, I'm really good, and Man are new. Hopefully you guys are here. Tell me everybody's not going to be here. It's a conspiracy. Alright. Unusual opening stream. You know, let's try the... What is this called anyway? The Benoni. What do you call it? Like when you play c5 on move 1. This is a situation where the best move is clear. Like d5 is the only move that gives white an advantage. Against one of my teammates, a guy played c3 the other day. This is just an insipid and solid move. The reaction of the London system player. We know how much I love the London system. I'm going to make a video series on like beating the London system. And I'm so sick of it, you know. Trying to destroy that opening. But c takes d4, it's equalizing for black. I think it's kind of like the old Benoni. This is a sort of made up name. Of course, all chess names are arbitrary. There's no copyrights. It's not the Czech Benoni though. The Czech Benoni is actually d4, knight f6, c4, c5, d5, e5. That's very concrete. White really playing, you know, the unusual opening in a sense here. It's like he went knight f3, c5, d4, which isn't really... Well, it's just provocative. I mean, you're basically playing a kind of Scandinavian against the English. I was thinking of doing something weird there, but now I'm supposed to play in d5 because if I don't play d5, he can establish control of the center. And now it could get interesting depending on what white does. It's basically like the Marshall defense with the tempo extra. But in the Marshall defense, I mean, obviously taking with the knight on d4 is more normal. A reverse Marshall defense. Okay, knight takes d4, I think d5. Equality, at least, for black. No questions asked. You're playing a reverse Marshall defense with an extra move for white. The extra move probably doesn't mean a whole lot. Now, basically, Haggard DK, best case scenario, has some kind of weird Queen's Gambit accepted with an extra move. I think that e4 is interesting here. Maybe this is white's best move. Does that make sense? He can do that, right? Can he? e4, pawn takes pawn, queen takes check, knight takes d5. I mean, in order for me to hang on to the pawn, let's see, knight g5, knight f6, knight c3, bishop f5. We'll have to look at it after the game. I'd like to play e4 with white there, but I'm not sure if it's actually good. If not, then he can definitely play c4 going into like a reverse QGA. I guess that's what we'll have after e5. Though this might not be that bad for white. It is a kind of known line. How much the extra tempo matters is a good question. e5 is pretty aggressive. I don't have to do that. You know, maybe it's safer to just play like knight f6 or something. I'm pushing a little bit with e5 for black here. This is different. That looks viable too. Okay, so now it's almost like a Vienna variation with an extra move. This might not be bad for white bishop b5. So c4 I was thinking, but bishop b5 looks... You could even transpose to reverse Chigorin, actually. Maybe I was asking for too much here? I guess we can play f6. That's weird. Is this even good? f6? How else am I going to defend that pawn objectively? I mean, queen d6 is like a tempo down in the Chigorin. Or maybe there's nothing he can do. Queen d6 c4 is also awkward. Huh. I mean, I could play bishop d6. That's weird. Bishop d6 looks awkward. I guess we can also play bishop g4 for that matter. Straight up kind of Vienna game sort of thing. I'm not a big believer in my position. I think e5 might be asking too much for black. White is definitely okay here, not worse. I couldn't decide on a move. I literally had like lots of choices. Bishop d6, bishop g4, f6, queen d6. Queen d6 looked a little strange. I mean, after c4, I think queen d6 is kind of dubious, but playable. Queen d6 castles, knight f6, knight c3. It's like a Chigorin reversed. I think this move is kind of a cop-out for me. c4, d takes c. No, c4. Uh-oh. Well, c4 is really a Vienna variation. A tempo down. I have bishop b4 check. c4 is the sharpest move. Never in my life have I played the Vienna variation with a tempo less. It's pretty dynamic when you're white, so it might be playable with black. I don't know. No, queen a5 doesn't win a bishop, but thanks for suggesting. It's a really deep idea. So it's now absolutely Chigorin reversed. Except in that line I wouldn't normally go bishop g5 probably. So, I don't know. Nothing special really. It's probably just like equal. Dynamic equality. There's so many different possibilities. Like suggesting itself h3. I guess I have to take. Dude, I have 55 seconds left and you want me to like see everything you typed. It's a little bit difficult there, buddy. Queen takes f3. All right. bishop b4. Probably trading the two bishops for the two knights is interesting. This is equal. White has good control of the center for in exchange for giving me these two strong pawns. He may get two bishops. I think it's well played by both sides, relatively speaking. But it's like I've got 37 seconds left. You know, you guys can't expect me to see every comment in the chat room. I'm cutting a little bit close here on the time. I like to do that though. I like to use all my time, not to get a bad position in the first place. And with a 3-second increment, I feel like we can play without any time, just the increment. With 2 seconds, I always flag, but with 3 seconds, we can just play on our increments. And a lot of cases like that, that results in people like just spazzing out, like trying to win on time, and the time pressure actually works to our favor, in our favor, a lot of cases. Whereas with 2-second increment, I had to put in my tournaments the 2-second increment because there was no 3-second increments when you make a tournament. In 2-second increment, I just constantly flag if I just hesitate with the mouse for a second or something. Because I don't play bullet chess, I don't like it, and I don't think that it's good for you as a player. Bishop d2. White doesn't have any threats. I don't know if he's planning on castling queenside. I've never really seen that happen in a Chigorin too often. White almost always castles the other way. But I'm really low on time, so I'm going to try to keep this simple. Well played by Haggard DK. It's a good balance. Two bishops for two knights. Just trying to secure my center. Haggard DK playing too fast. Playing too fast in my time pressure. Kind of what I was talking about. Just drops a piece. That's why I don't like bullet chess. It's just a waste of time. People just hang pieces. I mean, it's funny and all that, but objectively, it's just garbage. You might as well just waste your time spamming a chat room on the internet or something. I mean, I don't know how many years we have left. I don't want to waste it playing bullet chess. What am I supposed to do now? I can't trade pieces. This is awkward. Alright. If I trade rooks, I lose control of the open file. It's kind of weird. I have to get his queen off of a5 in order to start hoovering the pieces off. Take control of the open file. Step-by-step process here. It's like, okay, we have this. Generally speaking, trading queens is a good thing when you're up a piece. I guess I should go down in the 7th rank. And now he can't he can't play f3, but he's fighting on. He's seriously trying to win on time. I forgot about that. That was awkward. I think you could have played king e3 there. He stopped me. This is so aggravating. We'll not give up. All right. I had a weird move there. Okay. Extra knight should create a situation of Zugzwang. We can take the pawns when we want to. Let's get a little more space first. Practical advice. All right, guys, time for, I said 2 more games, so that's it. Haggard DK, interesting opening. You know, really well played. Just not really. This wasn't really good, but I feel like e5 is pushing it too much for me. Bishop b5 was cool, and you're equal here. I don't know. The computer says I'm better, but I'm a little bit skeptical of that, honestly. I don't really think so. We probably both played this pretty correctly. Okay, a3 isn't absolutely necessary. It's basically equal, and he hung a piece here. This is absolutely equal. I have enough center, but I don't have a way to improve my position, really. I could just hold it together. Maybe I could play better before that. All right, guys, last game, last games. All right, I'm playing unusual openings. I played knight c3. We didn't play f4. I played a3, knight c3, some kind of black Mardimer gambit. Triumphant. That last game is, next game is last game. I should have. I'm gonna play one more game. The other challenger I've got there. Thank you guys for subscribing. f4 followed by king f2. Now, it's better to play f3 followed by king f2. If you're going to play for a king f2, you should probably... If this guy doesn't show up, I'm going to take the next game and call it a day. There he is. All right. So f4. Obviously g4. Oh, no, that's not good. It would be a good suggestion. By the way, g4, queen h4, mate. I just want to... Oh, yeah, okay. e6. Let's see. f4 against the French defense. It's just a reverse. Reverse Dutch if he plays d5. Well, that's what it is. He hasn't played c5. I guess it's still a Dutch, though. As long as he's played d5, it's a reverse Dutch. Yeah. Now it's like a e3 Leningrad. I had a friend who used to play this setup that he's playing with the white pieces, and he did, against the Dutch Leningrad, he did reasonably well. playing this setup reversed with white, actually, because people don't really know what to do. They don't expect black, you know, or expect someone to play the system like e3 or e6 as an offensive type of setup. It's basically like the French defense. It's I guess this is actually, if I ever play e4, it transposes to a closed Sicilian. I mean, there are many different setups we could opt for. Anyway, guys, tomorrow night is my subscriber stream. 7 p.m. Thursday night. I'm going to do game analysis and blitz with the subscribers here on the stream. Now, I'm really good is basically playing... he's playing kind of like it was a main line. But he hasn't played... He's played e6 instead of g6. Like in a main line. Leningrad. I guess it's reasonable for black. But it's kind of weird. Wonder about playing e5 for me. Like, should I stop him from playing e5? Is my argument here. Well, there's definitely more than one way to skin a cat. You know, I think there's a couple different ways to play this position. e3 is interesting. e5 is interesting. Just e5 feels like I'm wasting time. Okay. But he's played the move e6, and his bishop is blocked in on c8, you know, so if I do something like e3, he can play e5. That's my fear, kind of immobilizing my isolated, well, doubled pawns in the center. There is an argument that e5, I'm moving, you know, I'm not developing any pieces, I'm kind of taking a lot of time here, but this is a move I would be much more reluctant to play if black's pawn were back on e7. And his bishop could roll out here. Now, naturally, he plays b6. Then we hit the center. Want to undouble my pawns. But black has played well. I don't have to play e3 either. I'm really good 2000. Okay, he's got just 100 games. I definitely don't know. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes, c3, knight takes, bishop takes. It looks equal. Don't really have an advantage. Damn, that's an aggressive move. 1300. Interesting. Now I might be worse after that move. Pawn takes pawn, knight takes. No, chess.com is computer ratings. You play against computers and you see how good you are compared to the computers there. But yeah, you do remind me of chess.com a little bit. This is our last game, it's fitting. Rook d8, an incisive move for 1300 player. I always like to finish the stream on a positive note. It was an interesting game, Arsenal. It was the only move, probably. I think if you play any other move but c4, you're getting ripped limb from limb by black, who's played amazingly. Maybe I can hold. Hopefully I can draw. That would be an accomplishment, I think. White's obviously worse here. Seems like he made a small mistake. Maybe I made a mistake. Yeah, it looks like I made a mistake. Not clear. Black is not a 1300. It's obviously a pretty strong player, comparatively speaking to the rating it has. So it's just a troll. Extremely dangerous position for me. There's no way he's 1300 in anything. If I'm winning here, I'm lucky because I was basically lost like 7 or 8 moves ago. I think I was totally lost. Definitely lost before. Now it looks like I'm actually winning, but I was very lucky. Still not sure. I guess I could play a3. And he's got 93 check. This is pretty awkward. Knight takes a2. We can just play rook a3. We're winning, but he's not 1300, man. This guy was clearly almost just busting me. All right. Well, Well, he's not using a computer apparently, but he was definitely crushing me before. I was just barely holding on. Even the comments in the chat box are like provocative. Lucky to win this at all. We'll look at the position after the game. I mean, if you look at rook d8, dude, b6 is best move. Bishop b7. Now you can play rook d8, or you can play knight takes d4. But I think that rook d8 is clearly more incisive. Now, if I don't play c4, I'm just busted here. I'm probably almost lost anyway in this position. So I felt I had to play c4 to have any practical chance to survive. Definitely not a 1300 player. Now I'm only slightly worse. This is where he went wrong with a6. And now I'm still worse. We just blundered, and I thought I was losing for a second because I didn't see queen b6. Maybe he thought he was winning with queen a7 or queen b6. But I have queen f2 just by accident. I seriously didn't even see queen b6 and then realized, oh, I have this, I hope I'm not lost, you know. And fortunately it's working for me. I can maintain the blockade, and if he takes on b2, I have rook b3. No rook b3. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't play this. Here I can take on d7. I didn't see this, obviously. And take on c6, but yeah, if you suspect someone of being, you know, a cheater or something, I don't think this guy is using a computer. I don't know. He might be, though. He's definitely not 1300. Anyways, I mean, if you see someone whose rating is not consistent with their play, you should mention it to the administrators. Anyway, the guy should be like at least, I don't know, 1800, not 1300, but whatever. We'll see you guys later. Tomorrow night is my subscriber stream here on Lichess. It's game analysis and blitz, and 7 p.m. CET tomorrow night. I gotta run, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for playing. I will see you tomorrow night. Bye bye. Thanks, Saltigo, for being our moderator here. I will see you guys later. Bye.